Welcome back to Crafting a Meaningful Life. Now, if we're about crafting a meaningful life, we want to encompass all that there is and be open. So, you all know my good friend, Jen Drummond, and she just she published her book. Now, tonight, she's going to be in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yes.
This lovely woman came in from California.
Yep.
Yeah.
San Diego.
To be at this thing tonight that I'm going to, the summer soiree for Jen. And Jen said to me, Mary, you would love this woman. And I said, really? Tell me about her. She goes, no. You must find out about her yourself. Have her on your podcast. So without knowing you, without having any idea of who you were, I just said, okay, we connected on text message. We booked today. And here she is, live and in person, the absolutely amazing Izabela Hamilton. Welcome.
Thank you so much. This is really awesome because I've also never done this where I go on a podcast and we don't really know each other.
Right.
But even in the first few minutes that we met, I have a feeling that we were meant to meet.
There is no question. Absolutely, Izabela. There is something about your essence. I have to say, I looked on your Instagram. I confess, I was stalking for a moment because you were coming. And I actually showed it to John, my husband, and I said, yeah, we have nothing in common. But the thing I know about people is that when you do meet them and you do get to talk to them, what you discover is that you have everything in common.
Mm.
And that's what I instantly knew about you.
Mm.
You arrived with this beautiful bouquet of flowers in your arms to greet me. And I'm like, do you want a glass of water?
Oh my God. It just feels very special. We both love Jen, right? So we
Yes.
know we have that connection. And Jen, what I noticed about her, she has this power that she attracts the most amazing souls. And when they meet, because I've been staying at her house for the past
Right.
few days, and all her friends that I meet, I'm just like, oh my God, it's like puzzle pieces. And that's why when she said, oh, you have to go to Mary, I was like, oh, absolutely. I literally, she asked and I said yes,
Yeah.
without anything. And I was actually wondering, I'm like, wow, Mary never reached out to ask anything about me. I guess we're good to go. And here we are. But I'm sure there's many things that we can discover about each other that make us closer. And, we are both humans.
Yes.
And we both have
female
humans, and we both have souls. And, there's definitely so much connection just within that. And goddesses as we are, we can always relate because women go through something special and different in this lifetime, right? And even though I live in California and you live in Utah, there's things that connect us. There's things that we both have gone through without having to put words to it. We just know. Like, you came outside, you're like, Izabela, and you embraced me. I'm like, this is my sister. I'm like, this is my sister. Like, that's it.
I didn't want to just wait inside, clutching at the door, wait for you to ring the doorbell. Oh, hello. I just wanted you to be welcome and to come. But we notice things about people when we meet them. We notice things that are clues for us and cues for us.
Mm-hmm.
And such it is with me, with you. You immediately came out. You were dressed stunning. You should see her black heels. Oh, yeah. And then you had these flowers, but immediately your smile. Your smile was just embracing and loving. And then direct eye-to-eye contact we established immediately. And then the crystal you wear at your throat. Share with me about your crystal.
This was given to me by my mentor, Courtney McDermott. She is a special, special human in my life. And I was going through a tough period in my life. Tough in the sense, it's not tough anymore. Now, when I look back, it was just another step in my journey that I had to go through. A lot of people call that dark night of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what that was. And that was, such a dark moment in my life. As you can tell right now, I'm out of it. Thank you, God. But it's, you never know when it comes for you. And I didn't think it was ever going to come from me because I'm always like this. I'm always like happy and joyous. And I'm like, oh, even if there's
What are you
something
talking about? Dark
exactly bad happening, I'm like, oh, it's just the universe. It's meant to be. I've always been like this. And then, Mary, I had like, I don't know, over a year. I can't even tell you how long, because every day I would wake up and I just felt this sadness coming over me. And this is what I would do. I would, I would look at my list. I'm like, I'm healthy. My family's healthy. My child is healthy. I have a roof over my head. I have food. I would go through this list because I'm like, what is it? What is it that I'm missing? What is it that it's happening in my life that I don't know? That's raining the sadness over me. I couldn't tell. So every day the same day, like Groundhog Day, just every single day I would wake up sad. I would like lock myself in the bathroom and cry because I didn't want my family to know that I'm crying. Why are you crying? I don't know. How do you tell somebody that you don't even know why? And, in that moment of my life, I had Courtney that, you asked me about my necklace, and, I would have a call with her every single week, and, she tried to walk me through it, and she was a great help. But what I realized, Mary, is that you can only walk this road yourself. You really, you must. You can have guidance, and Courtney used to have this thing. She would say to me, she said, I can only point the finger.
Right.
I can only point a finger to where it is, but you have to go and get it. And then one morning I woke up, I looked in a mirror and I said, I am done now. There was no, I didn't read anything that pulled me out of it. It was just, I think it was like my body and my mental and just everything. It was just like, I am now done with this period. I can't even explain it, where that thought even came. And I looked in a mirror and I smiled. And from then on, every single day, just one thing after another, the world has opened up for me again. And I started finding joy again. And now when I look back at the two different worlds, I'm like, the same thing was happening. It was just my vision of how I was living in those days. And again, whatever that was, I don't know what it was. Was it a cleansing? Was it a shift into a new reality that I am now being born into? Was it my future self shedding all the trauma I had in my life and, all my everything? I can't really, and maybe I still need to work on it for me to figure out. And maybe it's not for me to figure it out, but I know I went through it. And, when you're in those low moments, you really feel like there's no way out. There's really no way out. Like meditation didn't work out. Music didn't work. I still had to get up and go and work. I still had to do all these things, but there was always this kind of like just weird like energy that just, I don't know. I had to experience that for wherever I'm going next. And yeah, and this necklace is almost like a reminder of, the yin and the yang and the ups and the downs, and that is okay as well. And those times are okay as well, because how do you ever feel the joy if you've never reached the depths of the sadness, of the, I don't want to give it a name and call it depression, because I don't really know what it was. It was just, I was feeling so deeply into this emotion that, has sent me, catapulted me back so far now into the joy that I'm just like, I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I am alive. Thank you, God. And, I'm here in Utah and I'm looking at the mountains and everybody thinks I'm crazy because I'm just like, are you guys seeing this? This is so beautiful. And they're like, yeah,
we see it every day.
See it every day. So it's like this joy that I get to live every single day with now.
So you mentioned because of, you said, in my life and all the trauma that I have lived through. Share with us just a little bit about that journey and what trauma looked like for Izabela.
Yeah. And, when I say trauma, it's probably I'm encompassing everything that can happen to somebody's life. But I was born in Romania.
Okay.
If you cannot tell
I detected the
by my
accent, yes.
accent.
Been to Romania.
I was born under dictatorship, communism, grew up extremely poor, and everyone around me wasn't just, my family specifically. But I remember, Mary, like when we were young, I have two siblings, like, we didn't have heat, we didn't have water, we didn't have, food at times. And it was just, when you're little, you think, that is what life is about. You think that's it. And yet, we all have a soul, and you feel like this is not right. There's something not right about, these conditions. And then, seeing my parents go to work in the morning and come home at night, and, giving us a key to the apartment. We all had a key on a little string so we all could get in. I remember during the communism time, because we were five parents and us three, we would get a card from the government that said, okay, you're five members in the family. You get to have 1 liter of oil per month. You get to have two, maybe pounds of flour. You get to have 2 pounds of sugar. Like everything was really ratioed out. So again, at those times, I didn't know what this was doing to my psyche, and how
Hmm.
that made me have this belief that, there's not enough in the
Yes, very
world.
scarcity.
Very scarcity mindset. And money, it's how can you even think of money when it's like you barely have the essentials to survive. So as I grew up, every night I would go to sleep, and I didn't know what manifestation was. I didn't know what any of this beautiful knowledge that we have access to these days. But every night I would go to sleep, and I would just like close my eyes and like escape in my dream reality. And I would just picture like living in America. I just kept hearing America. Like my dad told me about it, but nobody in my family ever went. I mean, you actually couldn't leave Romania.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
forbidden.
Yeah.
You couldn't. Uh,
And what I've discovered from
this,
traveling in Eastern Europe, well, really anywhere in the world, that they don't refer to this land as the United States. They always refer to it as America.
yeah.
And when they say it with such reverence.
Hmm.
When I went to Ukraine to help people, the refugees, when the war first broke out,
Hmm.
coming across the border, the women and the children, and they would just say to me, "How do I get to America?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Huh.
And so you actually got to experience
I
that.
did.
And
I did.
I, to those of us who have lived here in the United States most of our lives, I can't even imagine being told, this is the amount of this you get, this is the amount of this you get, and how that bred this sense of scarcity in you, that there was never enough.
Hmm.
I think in the United States, we have sometimes a big sense of scarcity, but it's bred differently than that. It's bred through competition, and I've got to be better than the next person or I'm going to be without.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that capitalistic kind of an approach.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though I certainly was born and raised in the capitalist system, there is that dog eat dog kind of thing that exists here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about that, about how we step out of that?
Yeah, I did.
I know you did.
I
That's
did.
why I'm asking you.
I did because I lived it, Mary. And
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to come to this country. And what's interesting about you, what you said, and I love that you caught that. I've never actually heard anybody say that. The fact that we immigrants like call this land America and not United States. I mean, we
Yeah.
know obviously the
Yeah.
meaning of both, but you're right. America means
It's a
it's
reverence,
it's 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 like it's synonymous to like your dream life, to your dreamland. And
a shining star.
yeah, and it's, through, other people talking about it. And I think even though they never experience it, they see this country as the land of all possibilities. And it truly is, Mary. Like it
I know it.
truly is. And
I know it.
that's not to say that we don't have our challenges here, but it's just so different from when you're able to live in your power and create something of your own without having to ask for permission, one, and two, just to see where your own skills and your abilities can take you, which you could never do that in my country. I am sure now, I don't want to say anything bad about it now. I'm sure things have changed. I lived in America for 20 plus years
Yeah.
now. But those dreams I would have every night, I would go to sleep and like picture myself here. And then when I turned 20, I was coming home from school, Mary, and miracle from God, I swear. I saw this lamppost on the street, and I'm just like, it's winter and it's snowing and it's cold, and I'm like walking home, and I see the lamppost, and I see like a small piece of paper on it glued to it, and I keep getting closer, and I get closer and I read, and literally says, "Do you want to go to America? Call this number." And I'm literally looking around. I'm like,
What
who put
angel put
this
this here?
who put this here? Because mind you, I'm like in a very small town. Like I'm not even in a big town.
You're not in Bucharest. You're like,
No, absolutely not. And I take that number down and I run home like excited and nervous, and I'm like, I tell my parents, and I'm like, oh my God, this is my chance, because they know I want to go to America. It's like they know it's my dream. And my dad calls the number, and it's a program in a city over. So it's not in my city, Zala, where I'm from. It's about an hour away. But the problem is the program cost $1,000. $1,000. It was a year's salary in Romania.
Wow.
And I felt heartbroken. I'm like, oh my God, all my dreams, they're right here and I can't grab them. Like, so my dad went and, start trying to borrow money from whatever he could to make my dream come true. And, finally we put together $1,000, actually 1,100, because he gave me $100 that I got to bring to America with me. That was my going away, see you later money. And a month later, I was in America, Mary, just like that.
Wow.
And I had never left home. I was still sleeping in the bed with my sister, holding her like this every night. I'm the oldest, as you can probably tell. Just because we're more, we take more chances. And I have a brother who's in the middle, and the three of us shared a room. And, to be pulled away from all of that, it was the hardest thing I've ever done, Mary. I don't know how I did it. I don't know, like my heart, like, yes, I had this dream of going to America, but this dream to go to America was partially for me, but mostly for my family, because I didn't want to keep seeing my parents suffer and struggle and go to work in the morning and come home at night, and seeing them age before my eyes and not being able to provide for their kids. And I'm a huge empath. I come to find out years later, and also I'm a Pisces, so I'm feeling the world's pain, and I'm feeling my parents' pain when I ask them to give me money to buy a new shirt, and they say, well, we don't have money for a shirt. We only have money for food. And I know they want to give me that, but they don't have it. They can't. So I'm feeling this pain, and I'm just like, I am a child, right? I'm 20, turning 21. And I'm like, if I don't take this upon me, who else is going to do it? So I had to make a very tough decision to move to another country that will hopefully provide this for me. I literally went blind, just like today. And I think this is where a lot of my faith comes in now. I just know if there's a calling, if there's a synchronicity, I'm meant to be there. And I get on a plane, have never been on the plane before, and I joined this au pair program. It's a nanny program for those that don't know it. And I just blindly
A lot
go.
of people came to America with that.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Thank God for that, because it was, in my case, a way for me to come here. And I knew the moment I stepped onto that plane, I didn't know when I was going to come back, because I wasn't going to come back in a year when the program ended. I just knew. I would have come with any other programs. It just happened that this was an nanny one.
Yeah.
And I just knew I could make it work no matter what. And when that 1 year came and passed, I just stayed, and God kept putting amazing angels in my life. I had this lady, Kara, who's sister, mother, angel in my life, and she said, just come live with me. As long as you need, I will clothe you, I will feed you. So my first impression of America and Americans, it's like excellent. Everybody's just welcoming me. Everybody's so kind. And I know it's a lot about perspective too, because you could ask somebody else that's an immigrant and they live in another state that maybe had a different experience than me. But for me, I've always chose to see only the good things, like Kara helping me, and this family helping me, and that person letting me borrow their car and letting me borrow their jacket and feeding me, and I'm getting all these things. Because imagine, for me, I'm not used to this from Romania. Like in Romania, you don't have. What are you going to give when you don't have? So I'm just like
holding on tight.
I'm like, oh my God, like this is what we should all be like. But now that I was here, I literally had to start from zero. I was a baby again. Not only I didn't have money, but I didn't know any English. I didn't know what the heck a freeway was.
You came, you didn't know any English at that point?
I knew how to count to 10. I knew, a few basic words. That's why I'm like, I don't know how they hired me. Actually, I do know, because the daughter of the au pair family had the same birthday as me.
Oh, well, there
so
you go.
They chose me.
Yeah.
And that's why that happened. And you see, everything was just a line, and they took a chance on me. And, so yeah, I started taking baby steps again, learning the language, learning the culture, learning the food. I'm like, why is everything so sweet? I'm like, what is going on here? Of course, now I love it. I'm very much.
Unfortunately, we've addicted you.
Exactly. I'm okay with it. Let this be the worst thing that could happen, But yeah, I had to learn, like you asked me, just, how do you reprogram all of that? How do you reprogram scarcity? How do you reprogram trusting people? Everybody was smiling. I'm like, why is everybody smiling? Are y'all crazy here? What's going on?
Especially in Utah, we smile all the
But
time.
also California, because I'm in California. Everybody's like chill and relax and surf. And I'm like, I've landed in heaven. Where am I?
Yeah.
Again, that's not to say I didn't have my challenges, but it's just I really had to, and it took me, 20 plus years to even be able to stand in this chair and look you in the eyes without going like this, like embarrassed and not being able to say yes and no. It's just you're trained, you're brainwashed from a child to depend on your country, your dictator, your government, you can't ask for your worth. There's no worth. You're nothing. And for me, also as a woman, having to learn all of this. And first time I had to say a no in America, it was like 3 months in with this family. And as soon as I said no, they immediately fired me. Yeah. Exactly what I thought was going to happen happened. The first time I said no, and I sat on that no for months, and I'm like, they can't keep taking advantage of me. But I don't know boundaries. I don't know how to say no. This was my first family. I don't know how to say no. I don't know how to tell them what I want. What do you want to eat? I don't know. I've never been asked that. Like, you just eat what you have.
Yeah.
All these like simple things that you think are just, you just take for granted here. It's just like, oh, do I want bananas or do I want oranges? Like, no, like I don't know what I want. Tell me what I want. So do you see, it's like all these things that I never even knew I had to know.
The word choice.
It took me many, many years. So maybe now that I'm talking to you, maybe, all of that dark night of the soul maybe was just like the epitome of like, my old life with my new life all coming together and maybe shedding all of it.
I like that concept of shedding. That sometimes when you're trying to start something new,
you're holding on to everything,
and you still have the old inside, the conflict inside.
Mm-hmm.
And it can just be depressing to think, I was this, but now I have this, and like, how do I work those two together? What about my people, my
Yeah.
family back in Romania
Yeah.
still, and what do I do with
Exactly.
that? And uh, that's a lot of conflict inside of
Yeah.
a young brain.
Yeah.
And then to come to that point where you're just like, I'm going to accept.
Yeah.
And it's like you threw your arms open
Exactly. That's
and
exactly
just
what I did.
accepted right where you were and the beauty of the moment.
Mm.
And there you were able to stand.
That's exactly what happened. And I said, this is it. If you want to take me, take me. If I'm meant to be here, I'm meant to be here. And I guess I'm meant to be here and continue on my own journey, wherever this will take me, because I know I'm just scratching the surface. Even through all of this, I feel
Right?
I feel like we're just getting started.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah. So as I peeked at her Instagram, I mean, she just has, I think it's like almost 47 million followers.
It's not million. I wish it was.
It says million. And I'm like, okay, she has 47 million followers. And that now you have taken that job that you came to America as a nanny. And I know that there's a bunch of story in the meantime, but you have now become what we know as an influencer, and that you are influencing and you're recommending things to people, products you love on Amazon, and people are turning to you for, like, they trust you.
Mm,
That's an interesting concept to me.
yeah.
So Izabela, when I buy something,
Yeah.
I look and I look at the reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And, if it's a 5-star review, the next thing I look at is how many people. It's like 3. Okay, well, that's their parent.
Oh, I love that.
Do you know what
No.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I looked down like, oh, they had, 3,500
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
review it 5 stars. Okay, now that's something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And you have grown that as like a presence
Mm,
that you are. The key thing about this piece is trust.
mm-hmm.
How did you develop that trust
Mm,
for people that trusted you
mm-hmm.
to give them sound advice?
Mm. Thank you for asking that. So, I don't have 47 million, but I do have 47,000, I think. But my
And no,
Amazon
M means million to me.
my Amazon journey, actually, it's interesting, and I'm glad you asked this, because I could have done anything in this life. Like, I got to a point where I'm like, I know what I love. I know the skills. I know I want to help people. I know I want to make those around me feel happy. If I can help them make money, also great. So Amazon's world came to me, um, just almost by accident, if you can even call them accidents, because they're not really accidents, right? I was meant to do this. And I started this company, Rank Bell, 12 years ago.
It's
And
called what? Rank?
Rank Bell.
Rank Bell.
Yes. And what my company does, we help brands go from obscurity to page one, where basically they dominate the category. So if you were to look for a face cream, probably the one that sits right on top is one that I've helped. So the way I do this is very interesting, because I engage shoppers around America that get to test some of these products. So by doing that, they tell me. So imagine I have like almost like 2 branches of a tree going out. One is these brands, but the brands cannot succeed without the shoppers. And the
Right.
shoppers don't get to try new products without the brands. So I found a way where I can connect both of them, where everybody wins, because this is what I've always wanted.
Win-win. I love
I
that.
didn't want to just have one party win, where usually that's the case, right? One party gives the money and that feels, like they spend something and they're not getting value. In this case, it's like the way these brands get to be in front of everyone is with the help of people like us that order the
Mhm.
product and they say, wow, I really liked it. Or they say, you know what, this face cream, it's a little too runny, it needs a little bit more density. Then the brand goes and reformulates, and now it creates a perfect product that everybody can buy, because they know that the avatar, right? So it's like they're finally starting to listen to what
Yeah.
it is that we want, right? What a simple concept.
I think that's why I write reviews,
Yeah,
is because I think that,
exactly.
either the user is going to listen
Mhm.
or the brand is going to listen.
And they do. And just in the name of all the brands,
Yeah.
thank you for doing that, because that gives, again, because it's a sea of
Yeah.
just everything.
Millions of
And
products.
how do you know? How do you know, what's great and what's not? And, I have been able to create this very unique approach to what I do. And we've done close to $2 billion
I
for
saw that.
for
I was like, what
brands.
the?
Organically,
Wow.
yeah, and all because
Organically, that's the key.
without sponsored ads, and all because they started listening to what the buyers were saying. If I were to sum it up, obviously it's a process, but if I were just to sum it up in that, Mary, is just when two parties work together in coherence, then miracles happened.
Would you give a message to Amazon for me?
Yes. What would you like to know?
It's about reviews. Okay. This is if they wait until I've had the product for at least 2 weeks, I usually write a review. When they ask me the day after it's been delivered, I just delete it. I never leave a review. How can I review a product I just received yesterday? That they need to stop doing that. That's ridiculous.
I love that. That is such a great point. And, I will take that back, because that is solid advice.
Yeah.
And, I think everything is just so automated these days that they're just like, oh, let's just get it out of
just
the way.
automate it to 2 weeks instead of the next day.
I like that.
Especially when it's a body product.
Exactly. How are you going to know?
How am I going to know?
Yeah. You're like, I barely just opened the package. Do you want me to tell you if the package was nice? It was nice. Right?
So
but we do love Amazon, though. We love that 2-day shipping. I love it. I buy everything on Amazon.
I tell you, I've become such a lazy shopper. Now my groceries I still buy. I like to go to the store. I like to pick out my produce.
I like to pick the flowers.
I'm a chef. I want to see my meat. All those things. I love that. Is that fresh? Where did that come from? What farm is that from? Is it local? But anything else, if I have to think twice about where would I go get something, if I need it, twice is too many.
Yeah.
If I think twice, then I know, it's an Amazon thing, and I immediately get it.
Yep. Yeah. That's why Amazon is so powerful.
Yeah.
This is why these brands are able to create so much revenue.
Yeah.
And, maybe some people don't know, but the brands that are selling are just like us. They're just people like us behind them. Amazon is just the platform that holds all these brands.
Yeah.
Yes, Amazon also sells their own brand. It's called Amazon Essentials. But everything else, whenever you buy, just know that you're literally helping a mom and pop shop.
I like when they put that on there. We're a mom and pop shop,
Because
or we're
it's
family
true.
owned, or whatever.
It can be somebody in your town. You don't even know. And that's what I love. And I wish I had this when I was in Romania, because what a great opportunity. You can have your own brand and your own store just from your home.
Yeah.
And then you order the product, whether you get it from China or from another country, and you send it into Amazon warehouse, and now you can have your own business. And I think that's great. And, I come across a lot of women that also decided to take this upon themselves and create stores and make a living. And I just think it really empowers you. Nothing wrong with 9 to 5s. I've done plenty of that in my life too. But for those who aspire...
Or 9 to midnight.
Exactly. 9 to 5. It's
ridiculous.
9 to forever sometimes. But yeah, I love that. Again, it's just so many opportunities out there now. And with AI, especially, like, I'm just in love with all the opportunities that are there right now. Like, I'm here in Utah, and, I can work from my phone.
Right.
And that's incredible.
I love this, this dream that you've built.
Thank you.
And I think that, if we leave a message with my listeners today, and they know this is like a mantra of mine for them all the time, so listen up. And that is that nothing is impossible.
Nothing.
And it's never too late.
Never too late.
Izabela, at age 50, I was in a horrendous marriage of domestic violence. And I weighed 284 pounds. I was very successful on the outside, but the inside was crying.
Mm.
And I dreamt, like you, that something else was possible. And so I began. That's why Jen and I connected, because when I made the decision to climb Killy, it was like putting my flag in the ground and saying, this is me. This is who I am. And I'm not going back. That's exactly what you did. The young woman born in Romania in a small town. How will I get to America? And yet a door opened for you. And the difference between you and lots of other people is that you stepped in.
Mm-hmm.
You chose it in the face of fear. Look at all the things you could have been afraid of that would have kept you back.
Yeah. Oh, and I was afraid.
Yeah.
Make no
Big
mistake.
time.
I was afraid every single step of the way. Afraid without my family, afraid with what's going to happen when the year ends, afraid how am I going to get a job, how am I going to live, where is this life taking me? You just don't know. Like I'm here, I'm undocumented, I'm all of the things. All of the things were there. And with that, I just woke up every day and I kept taking each step. And, of course, now it's easy looking back, like, oh, I can see how all the points connected, but never in a million years would I have even dreamed that I'm going to be helping people make $2 billion.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I knew how to count. So 2 billion at that time.
It was the one thing you knew how to do in English, count to 10.
Yeah, that's it. That's where I stopped. But since then I have learned I can now count to 2 billion.
Oh,
But I
such
love
a
that.
delight you are.
Thank you. And it's so true. There's really nothing that you cannot achieve. And I have this philosophy now that if it's in your head, if it's in your mind, it's definitely meant for you to
Yes.
have. And I didn't know this before, Mary. I thought everybody had the dream that I have. But the more I started talking to people, I realized we all have different dreams.
Different ones.
Jen wants to climb mountains. Somebody else wants to ride bikes. Somebody else wants to make beautiful clothing. And that's the beauty of all of us. We all have something that we are meant to do. And, if you're sitting out there, you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, just like I didn't. And that's even more beautiful because then you start from literally a white blank piece of paper and now you can paint whatever on it. Anything, read it in a book. Oh, I would like to have her life. Oh, I would like to have that car. Oh, I would like to have that house. If you don't know what it is, that's also okay. You start putting them down because even that, it's your journey. It's what is meant for you.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
I know you do. And you live it every single day. I
live
love
it.
that.
You feel it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I know there's nothing that I can put in my mind that's not going to come true for me because otherwise I wouldn't be here.
And you did not get out of the car like a young girl from Romania. You got out of the car like a badass from America. Do you know what I mean? And you owned it. But I also want to say something else, and this is something that I think is a key difference. And you definitely put this out, Izabela. And that is that it's one thing to go after things and to have them be a goal in front of you because you're trying to make up for your own self-worth. And then when you come to a point where you can claim who you truly are, and you don't necessarily need those things to make you more than, but they're a reflection of the beauty inside of you. That's a different kind of thing. And that's, my friend, what you reflect.
Oh, thank you for saying that because I feel like I'm still working on it. This is where I said it's just every day. It's just a journey and I don't think mine ended. And, there are days when I'm like, who is this person that everybody keeps talking about? Is it me? You still have that, you still have that.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, if I'm ever supposed to get to a point where I'm like so zen, like, yes, this is me, I have arrived. Maybe it's never going to happen.
I'm not sure that we do. Of all the
Yeah.
people I've talked to on this podcast, of all the people, probably over 500,000 people I've met in my life, no one ever feels 100%. Now, I've not interviewed Tony Robbins, but nobody, I can almost guarantee you, feels 100% of the time that they are the real deal.
Mm.
And that is the joy of it, that we get to reclaim it and rediscover ourselves every day or every month. And you find yourself slipping back to something like, oh, wait, that's not where I want to be. And you get to re-choose, re-step in. That's the joy of it. That's not the damnation of your life. That's the joy of it.
That is the joy. That is the joy. I
Yeah.
love that. Oh, wow. What a beautiful insight you have, Mary. Thank you for that. If you interview Tony Robbins, you got to let me know.
I will.
Yeah.
My goal is to interview Oprah Winfrey, actually.
Yeah.
Because we're the same age and we've traveled a lot of the same journey, even though her journey was much bigger than mine. But in regards to our own self-worth in that journey, and how we used weight to protect ourselves and cover our shame. And I want to interview her someday.
I cannot wait to see it. It's already done. It's already done. If it's there, it's already done.
Oh, my goodness, my love. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being on my podcast. My listeners gain so much. And if I hear one thing consistently from my listeners, it is, unfortunately, a belief that they hold deep. And they sometimes don't want to share it, but sometimes they do. That they are not enough. And no matter how much they dream it, it won't come to pass. And that it's too late for them. It's too late. And if I could, it's never too late.
It's never too late.
I didn't climb Kilimanjaro till I was the week before I turned 66.
Wow.
I didn't meet John until I was 67.
Wow.
I didn't get married to the love of my life till I was 71. I mean, it's never too late, girls. Okay, we're going to do this.
Goddess. Yes, goddess.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Oh.
You beautiful, beautiful soul.
Thank you.
And wish us luck as we're tonight going up to the soiree for Jen.
I know. We got to pick outfits now.
Yes, this is the dress code for tonight. It's bougie, casual, Park City. I'm like, what the? And the first thing she said to me, what are you wearing tonight? I said, I haven't decided.
I think it's like bougie from here to here, but then make sure you don't wear high heels.
Right.
Yes.
You can't, and I don't even think wedges.
I think wedges are fine.
You think wedges are okay?
I'm staying with her, so there's grass. So you cannot wear heels. But I think wedges are still cute. I think we can do wedges. That's a secret tip.
Jeans and like a cute jacket.
I think a dress.
Oh, it's a dress.
You know Jen.
I do know Jen.
She's going to be in a dress. And I am going to be in a dress.
Okay.
So I think you should be in a dress.
But if you are wearing this, you're going to freeze to death, girl. It's in Park City. It's in the mountains.
Yeah. I think I'm going to wear pink.
Oh, that's Jen's color.
I know. But it's like every single day we keep dressing the same. Everybody's like, they're confusing us now. They're like, Jen. I'm like, no, it's Izabela. It's so funny because, I mean, now I think because we hang out so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I mean, a lot of people are wearing pink. You should wear pink.
Oh, okay. I actually do have a lot of hot pink. I'll have to think about that.
We'll have to check after this.
All right. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us. And the few men that watch. I actually have 15% men.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well,
can you imagine? And they are just like, I wonder sometimes about them. I wonder, there's so much knowledge here that applies universally.
Of course. Oh my God. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And sometimes I think it's just that they really want to understand the depths of things that women understand.
That's beautiful that you see it that way. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary, for having me. And thank you to the listeners. And I'm sending all so much love. And yeah, just like Mary says, nothing is impossible and you're never too late.
And until next time, be about crafting your amazing, incredible, meaningful life. Namaste.
Crafting a Meaningful Life.